Revolution begins the moment you don't have a place to live. The moment you don't have a place to call home, you don't have a place to sleep, where you can eat and enjoy a meal. That's what revolution is. When a fundamental human right is denied to you, that's when revolution begins. And so tonight we are here to celebrate a milestone in the campaign that we're engaged in, which we're going to hear more about this evening. But I want to emphasize, Malcolm X said that we've been sitting down, laying down, and bowing down for 400 years, and it's time to stand up. Nobody's going to give you your freedom. You have to take it. And so that's what this campaign is about. We're moving forward. Our mission is to end housing discrimination in the state of Rhode Island. Get people with rights. That's what this is about. We want to open up this evening. We have some amazing, politically conscious, gifted poets that's getting ready to take us to the next level. So prepare your heart, prepare your mind, prepare your soul. Vaden, if you want to come up to the microphone and bless us, brother.
Way long, down that shore. Way long, down that shore. My 5th summer, my mother signed me up for swim lessons. She never learned herself. Born colored during the 40s in Florida, a segregated peninsula can feel like an island. The danger surrounding, she joked. I can't jump in and drink the whole ocean, so you better learn how to swim. You gon' get in that water, son, cause sometimes stereotypes strike. My blood was young and hot. The water was old and cold. It chilled my body but couldn't freeze my will. I cried. Irrational toddler tears as if being immersed in 1,000 years of fear. It hurt me. The black people beach. We learn control. Blow on the surface. Hum bubbles. Ripples. Race from my force. I felt powerful. Increasingly each summer mastered the technical but never became completely comfortable in their water. So when asked if I wanted to join the swim league, I lied. Because sometimes stereotypes seep into our sinew, confusing our marrow, diluting our truth. At the end of summer, my parents split at the family reunion. I was starting high school and my father was persona non grata from my mama's house, making me the man by default, so out of protest I grew my throat. Searched for nimble fingers to form my nappy into rows of corn, so treading with dread, my mother signed me up for black man lessons. They taught assimilation on Saturdays, how to seem less threatening among sharks who named themselves straights, whites. Administration made me take out my braids before field trips, then cut me from their federal funding for not trimming my fro, so I didn't go with the program to Bethune Beach. The black people beach on down, way long down that shore. Warning, there will be no Afro-futurist Aquaman to save the French from the stereotype at the end of this poem. Trigger. The summer was blood hot. The tide was high and biased. Black male college cadets challenged the power. I'm home, growing my hair, quarantined from the other, vulnerable dark teenage brothers, oblivious to the currents yearning for burning plunder. One will never return from under that middle passage. Rashad tries rescuing another but is ripped from his own potential, sunken next to hidden treasure of antebellum cargo swallowed by water. I learned of his disappearance watching the news. They tell me the Coast Guard quit searching as I'm realizing he's missing. Quickly ending the segment with a twisted statistic. African Americans are 3 times more dead from drowning. Because sometimes stereotypes in life. So, it is customary in the tradition of poetry and poetry slam that when a poet brings forth a new piece of work, everybody says, new shit. So this is some new shit, so everybody says, new shit! All right. So, you know, like going with the theme and everything, I was trying to look through the things that I have. And so I have something I've been working on, and it really deals a lot with like with family. So like we talk about homes and everything like that. A lot of family, a lot of, you know, everything goes into that. And I like in my personal life, well, in my professional life, I work in after school. So like this really talks to like the work that you do. So it's like it's different than I worked in restaurants, stuff like that. It's like in a restaurant, you know, you're cooking food for people, but with childcare, you're actually having an impact on the community. It's like more profound. So like this piece came out of that. Oh, and you can feel comfortable to like laugh or cry or boo, whatever. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Okay? It's not gonna hurt me. When a young black student says, "You look like my dad," at no point refute it in your mind or reject it with your posture. Don't strain your spine trying to distance yourself from that moment. Never abandon the memory. Remember, all the fathers missing. Third Sunday in June, the fathers away. Some love through the distance, transcending captivity and even death. Others fall off in early autumn with fertilization in search of affection, never considered being an ancestor, touching the future. Imagine the impact passion can have years after satisfaction, stacking generations. The first time a student told me, "You look like my dad," I forgot. Blocked my awkward feelings until it happened again. The second time, I reacted like a boy, ignoring the responsibility to respond with kindness, ignored her plea for recognition. By the third instance, I had learned to accept the compliment. Because when a child says, "You look like my dad," what they mean to say is, "You remind me of my origin. We are kin to the same creator. I love the source of your life." It's difficult to look inside another creature and see your reflection, but it's important to foster that recognition of resemblance. So the next time a student says, "You look like my dad," I want to say, my daughter was born during a blizzard, the last hour of 2013. We named her Kuumba, after the day in all creation. Her first couple months, I took her into my arms to dance and sing every night songs I wrote, Kuumba, based on circadian rhythm emanating from her scalp, transposing me into a greater poet. I want to tell that fragile student, when I look at you, I'm reminded of poems I admired but didn't compose. I want to say, you sound like improvised music, the result of artistic circumstances. I love you like a masterpiece, but that might be too... So the next time a student says, "You look like my dad," I'll just say, "Thank you."
The next voice you will hear is also one that some of you may be familiar with. Powerful, powerful, powerful Franny Choi. Come holler. Woo.
Bring it. Forgot to take off my bag, so it's right there. I'm gonna start with a poem. We'll see. I know there are a lot of speakers and there's food and good people in this room, so I might just do one, but maybe if there's time at the end I'll do another one. Yeah, I'm gonna start with the short one first. No, I'm gonna do the long one first. There we go. This is for everybody who has ever felt tired in organizing. Anyone who's ever felt like gotten that victory that you worked for so long, for years and years, that you put all your blood and sweat and tears into, and then you get the victory and it just seems so small. But we have to remember that every small step is a victory. Sometimes just getting up in the morning is a victory. So this is for all of you. When the Israeli soldier informs Eman that his living room is now a closed military zone, there is no one to blame. Not the boy soldier, not the paper stuttering in his hand. When Daniel is broken awake by the divine thunderclap of a cop's boot, there is no one to fire, no men to teach, no boys to scold. When we scream against the police chief's windshield, begging him to stop the vans, there are no human eardrums in that car, only job descriptions, metal mouths, dial tones. When the tear gas canister cracks open the earth of Kaya's back, there is no sad bully to love back to good. When my friend loses his job again and again and again, it is not personal. When the school, sorry, I just memorized this. When the school welcomes prison guards into its home rooms, the rule book stays silent. When the mayor turns a blind eye to the sea of whispers washing against his door, it is an odorless gassing, slow drip, cotton clogging nostrils all the way to sleep, to fog, a nameless god we can all fear, burning effigy in the town square, synchronized crank and yet never really there. Never really there. A faceless virus at whose feet each cog can kneel, hands up, float on the heels of pawns, saying, I have a family too. Tell me you wouldn't do the same if you walked a mile in my puppet strings. At such times, we look up from burning the rule book only to see its pages clouding the eyes of our parents, and the enemy evaporates back into the sky, leaving only the birds and each other to shoot at. At such times, we hunt the only way we know how. When Adib stands, branches outstretched, shouting at the line of deaf soldiers, it is not enough, but it is holy. When a brick and bottle reveille rains down on the army jeep, it is not enough, but it is worthy. When Jamila sings a eulogy for the doomed prisoner, it is not enough to save him, but it is sacred. When Ian spray paint extinguishes the billboard lie, it is not enough to stop the tide, but it is a tiny and precious moon. When Sierra first loves her body out loud, it is not a revolution, but it is poetry. When Laura pulls that first howling carrot from the former vacant lot, it is not a revolution, but it is poetry. When the tenant refuses to leave, it is not a revolution, but it is a victory. And when we bang and bang on the windshield, it is not a revolution, but it is human. And flesh our hearts, and flesh our fists, breaking on the glass, and true, the history's burning our throats. And because today our hands may not be wide enough to stir the gas tank sympathies of the hollow-eyed gatekeepers of empire, because today our throats may be stripped and scratched from shouting at the emperor hiding in the clouds, let us never forget to speak to each other down here in the soil where all good things grow.
This microphone is sacred tonight, y'all. This is a sacred space that we in right now. I hope you'll get a sense of that. Well, we just beginning. And Justice Gaines is getting ready to take us to the next level. Come on now, Justice.
Hi, y'all. My name is Justice. I'm black, queer, and becoming unapologetic. I want to thank Behind the Walls. I miss y'all. Y'all are incredible. Thank you for your work, the work you're doing. I'm going to do 2 quick poems for y'all. One, because of Marco's request, I wrote this during our Black Studies course this summer. I want the cotton back. I want the land it grew from. I want the food it bought. I want the clothes it weaved. I want the blood it summoned. The scars it cost. The sun it demanded. I want the cotton back. I want its leaves, its stems, its thorns, its root. I want everything but its white. I want the cotton back. We'll take the cotton back. We'll take everything it took of us. And this is a new piece. Yeah. They have never stopped calling us free. When we were en route, a ship of cargo, packed like Tetris blocks, like Tic-Tac, said we had just enough legroom. On the auction block, buy a man, get child free. Two women did get discounted young buck with our arms tied above our heads, back crying crimson from the crack's kiss. Called it waterfall, called it free-flowing beauty. In the field, heard us sing, named our spirituals joyful, a glee of dedicated workers satisfied with labor and sun and cotton, told us we were better off in wide, unfamiliar field. Preached the freed man liberty until the nearest plantation had a position open up after Massa's boy killed the nigger and the one that thought he was free range. Called us free in the Confederacy. Called us free in the North. Called us free, but separate, but unequal. Lincoln freed us, you know. Johnson freed us, you know. Did you hear MLK's freedom ring? See that Clarence Thomas? See that Don Lemon? That Raven Simone? They proved we free to be free. We murdered ourselves of our own free will. When we looked at the white person, when we spoke with a tude, when we walked down the street as the police car passed, called us freeloader, free handouts, called us free hanging, look, no hands, called us free falling, look, cut the rope, packed us into ghettos like Tetris, but called us free to choose, free to move. If we only worked harder, studied harder, blamed our poverty on our freedom, packing us into prisons like Tic-Tacs, free until proven criminal, innocent until proven black, said we chose our chains, we chose our handcuffs, our jail cells, satisfied with labor and jumpsuits and barbed wire like a fair trade, free trade for our bodies. Release, folks. Free now, except you can't vote or get a job, or buy a house. You gave up those freedoms. But don't worry, this is still America. You still free will. You still agency. You can do whatever you want to. Just be happy you were brought here. Land of opportunity, sea to shine and see. Why can't you blacks just accept your freedom? They have never stopped calling us free. Never stopped crafting us into paradox. Never stopped nurturing an impossible hope. Free black. Free, black, free, black, free.
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just call Be More 7. Y'all, come on up. Be More 7. While they are getting set it up, I just want to make two real quick announcements. If you like what's going on and you want to join the organization, it's $30 a year. Come struggle with us. We have some t-shirts for sale. And the raffle tickets, $20 gift cards, they're going to be coming, so don't go nowhere. All right.
What's up, everybody? So I got one piece for you. It's called Slave to Prison Pipeline. And this is my first time doing it with the drums. This is my first time, our first time performing together, so give it up for drummer Ika Mike. Wars on this and wars on that are really wars on blaming of the victim. Fact. Wars on this and wars on that are really wars on blaming of the victim. War on students and war on teachers takes the focus off of scoundrels sucking schools dry like leeches. War on drugs was a war on the poor. Lock them up like thugs to breed more and more. We got stop and frisk, and cop intuition means that they can pull you over for reasonable suspicion. According to whose reason and whose suspicion. Racial profiling got proof more than missions. Evangelizing whole continents, act suspicious. Now it's war on terror and invisible evil. It was a dark-skinned male. Half the world is looking see-through. Suspicious suspect, you fit the description. If you not what you stereotype, no recognition. Listen, civilizations use scapegoats. We all get a turn except for black folks, cause they always always number one. When it comes to public enemy, the barrel of a gun. Black man treated like a boy, less than a man, but black boy tried as a man, understand? But white boy seen as innocent kids, even after 18, they still adolescents. Realities of racism and false freedom. From slavery to prison. The title of a paper I wrote more than 10 years ago. To scratch the surface of the prison industrial complex now, things seem to be even more complex, yet we all know someone who's been incarcerated or is incarcerated or will be. The problem is there's problems that are monstrosities, and at the same time we need to take responsibilities. I see so many serving time again, revolving to recidivism, a form of recycling bodies. That's shoes, that's commodities. Flesh just a number or a cog in the wheel that is rusted from within like some iron or steel. Department of Corrections, but what are they correcting? Like a red pen marking up a test. Did you do your best? Maybe. If you were taught to the test and fed through the pipeline of privatization, a charter where your children really aren't embracing, reading or learning or thinking critically, cause the critical condition of the system needs surgery. Cause wars on this and wars on that are really wars on blaming of the victim. Fact. Wars on this and wars on that are really wars on blaming of the victim. School to prison pipeline, slave to prison work line. Who gets paid off our backs and spines? Testing to confine millions of malleable minds. Illiterate graduates, inmates who can't read. Drop a rate so high they legalizing weed. More like push-outs or burnout. Can we rise and succeed if we keep on building without destroying? More metal buildings holding unemployment. Rates in a cage, released to find paved streets, not with gold or with goals in reach. Hit the streets, seek work when it's all online. We got folks who can't read like they legally blind. This is indefensible in a nation that shines. A light like we number one all the time. Cause wars on this and wars on that are really wars on blaming of the victim. Fact. Wars on this and wars on that are really wars on blaming of the victim. Fact. Wars on this and wars on that are really wars on blaming of the victim. Fact. Wars on this and wars on that are really wars on blaming of the victim.
Need more seven.